All right, let me do this intro real quick. So this is true. Just came from the Stromer site, and the cheapest is 3,700. Next is around 7,000 up to around 13. No suspension. Higher models let you add a fork suspension for another whopping 1,000, and they're all rated with the low. Response to Jimmy Jr. You're right, and you're not right, but that's okay because it getting in the Stromer world, it's kind of when you get started, it's kind of confusing. But I really think that was awesome that you at least went and looked at their website and checked out their bikes. What I want to say is this: you said no suspension fork is available for only the higher class. Not true. The entry level, which I got two of them, the ST1, uh, which I call Megapint, and that doesn't have an LCI um, light in the tube. I'll show you that in the front tube, the head tube. I'll show you that tomorrow. And the new one does. It does have the light. But you can get an air fork from Suntour. I'm going to say it wrong, but it's Radian. And I will put a picture up. And that same company makes the $1,000 fork. Now here's the thing. You can get that fork that's on my ST1. If you look at some videos, you will see that I got an air fork on the ST1. So it is available. It's about a $750 fork. Oh, I know, it's so much. But Suntour does this really cool thing. And so even if you have a budget e-bike and you got a Suntour fork, you can go on Suntour's website, and on some of the forks, you can even upgrade them. Like you can put better springs in them, make them rebound, or if you got an air shock, you can do a couple things. I'll leave a link of Burn Peak. He did a really good video of the really good quality of Suntour forks. So, you're wrong on that. And I'm not trying to like call you out like you're wrong. Let me show you. No. I just want to correct you a little bit. Because no, you can't get a suspension fork and it doesn't cost $1,000. The one that costs $1,000, I think it's a little bit more than that, is the one that goes on the ST3, the ST5, the ST3 Pinium, the ST5 Pinium, and of course the ST7. Yes, but it's in a reverted fork. So it's kind of like a motorcycle fork. And is it a good fork? Yeah, it's a good fork. Yeah, you'll know when you get on it. You're like, yeah, it's a good fork. Now, you have to figure out if like it's too soft and you just get a shock pump, or you go to your bike store and they put some weight in it and you can fix it. I like to know how it's going for Jason, because I recommended he could put 70 pounds in his. So, hey, Mr. Lynch, let me know how that worked out for you. Okay, so you got that kind of wrong. Now, I get it. The low torque thing, my bike can go 28, 30 miles an hour. Yes, I have to pedal it. There's no throttle. But this low torque stuff, and you need to take off the light quick, or like you're afraid you're going to get hit by cars or something like that. I think most people are, you know what most people say? When they see me, the people I work with, they're like, man, you were flying on that bike. And it's like, I don't think I'm flying. I think I'm just cruising. Now, yeah, there's some bikes that can do 35 miles an hour. I question how long they're going to last, meaning like the quality of them. So, Stromer has really good policy. Like, the one thing that I wish you would have looked into is, I know that you think the price is too much. I'm trying to keep this from falling. Don't fall. Don't fall, iPad, please. Anyway, uh, one, Stromer is eating up a lot of that cost for, like, they came out with a 2G connectability when they first did that, then a 3G, and now a 4G. I got 4G on both my ST1s, and I got a 3G on the used ST3. And from what I thought was, because, there's no more 3G, phones really. Most of them are either 4G or 5G now. We all know that. But you see, I don't know if you've seen any of my other videos, but the 3G in my area picked it up, and I was able to get a firmware update, and it updated my bike. That old bike, and it updated that bike. So It's cool, and it even has a little like dot, you know, like that little O shape with the dot where it shows the location it's at. So there's some things that like, yeah, you pay for it, but at least you don't have to pay a subscription fee. So, you know, it's not like Apple Find Me where like, you know, no matter what product you use, if it's like an anti-theft or a theft device or deterrent, and they're using that Apple Find Me. The thing with that Apple Find Me, don't matter if it's something you put on your bike, they all have to go the same rules as Apple does. So, you know, that stalking thing where they're like, they have to tell a user that has an Apple phone, hey, you're being tracked. Yeah, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it's an AirTag. It doesn't matter if it's like a device that's supposed to be an alarm and it tracks the bike. Eventually, if it's using that Find Me Apple, yeah, eventually they will be notified that they're being tracked. That's just the way it is. So, but with the Stromer, you still, and it starts going off. That's your notification that, you know, like, yeah, you're being tracked because you're still on the damn bike. That's your fault. So, you got some things wrong. That's okay. And I get it. I get it. You think, oh my God, it's too low of torque. It's too expensive. Look, I thought the same thing when I first saw a Stromer. And then I rode it. And I was like, okay. And then I came home. I really liked the way it felt. I was like, oh, I really like to have a throttle. But that bike is so smooth. And until you ride one, just get over the fact is you can go ride one and for free. Go ride one. See, right now Stromer's got a 20% off. Yeah, you're saying $3,700, but that 4G will always be there for the life of the bike. So you will always have 4G, even if it's 5G. You'll still have 4G. If the cellular companies will support 4G, you will always have that. So yeah, the initial cost is ridiculous, you might think, but you know what? You get a 3-year warranty, a 10-year warranty. You get 3-year warranty on all the components, meaning like the battery and the display, which is the Omni, the motor and the controller. They call it distribution board. I can't say it right. I'm sorry, man. But and then before your warranty runs out, you can add 3 more years onto it. Now, I don't know what the price is, but I'll tell you this. I let my warranty go, and you know what? If the controller goes, I'll fork out the money. You know, I don't have a problem. But people put a lot of miles on them Stromers. And if you needed me to show you the actual miles that I got on my Stromer, on the ST3 or the ST1, I'll show you. I got, what, almost, I got 2024, something like that, 3,241 miles, I think, on the ST1 Megapint. And then I got 1,000 miles on the ST1 CPB Bomber. And if you're wondering what CPB Bomber means, it's Cerebral Palsy Biker Bomber. So I don't think you care. But, yeah. So there's a lot of things. You get a 10-year warranty on the frame. And even if you buy the bike used, it transfers to you. So I believe I know the 10-year warranty to the frame transfers. If there's warranty left on the components, that transfers to you. So there's a lot of cool things about a Stromer. I get it. It costs a lot of money. I do. But the one thing I noticed when I went in there and test rode one, I was like, oh, that's really good. But I don't, you know, I don't know if I can put the price. You know, it's just so expensive. I don't know if I can justify the price. And I went home and did some YouTube videos and watched some people that actually knew what they were talking about. Not these ones that are always taking bikes out. And it's always sunny. Like, where is it always sunny at? You know what I mean? So, where I live in Ohio, it's not always sunny. It's not always warm. And I don't know about you, but if a bike's supposed to replace a car, it's not always sunny. It's not always warm. And it's never always wind-free. And so, if it's supposed to replace a car, it better do some of them things. Now, I did have a budget e-bike, and I was looking at the frequent asked questions. And I asked a question, can you ride this in the rain? And what do you think I got an answer? The answer was, yeah, technically you can do it, but we wouldn't recommend it. Nowhere when I bought that bike did it ever say that. The Gazelle, yeah, ride it. The Stromer, yeah, ride it. The Russell Mueller, yeah, ride it. All these bikes that are too expensive, they're like, yeah, ride it. If you go look at EBR and look at Corey, when he looks at like, he took like a track mountain bike out, he was riding in the snow, in the cold snow. You look at him ride the Stromer. It, there was times he took that bike out and it was just raining. It was like a sleet snow, and he's out there in Denver riding it around. So it's up to you. I think you should go and ride one, and then you can say, yeah, it's too much money, but at least you get the idea that it's a good bike, a really good bike. And you know what? Go to Upway, and you can get a used. They used to have a bunch of used Stromers for an ST1 Stromer for like, God, I think they were like $1,700. They were going on sale on Upway. And actually, before I got my tax return, they had an ST3, the bike that I have. The only thing was it had the original stem on it, so it was a sports stem. And I would suggest if you get an ST3, make it a comfort stem. That little bit of raise is such a difference. But they had an ST3 on there for like, I think $3,400, and it's like it only had like, I think it had like 300 miles on it. That's nothing for a Stromer. Now you might say there's something wrong with that bike. There's something wrong with the Stromers. No. What happens is some guys or some people will buy these bikes and they go, "Oh yeah, I'm serious. I want to ride every day." And then they're like, "No, I'm not going to ride every day." So I would say this: if you're not going to ride every day, I wouldn't even buy that electric one. I just wouldn't. Because you're not going to ride it every day. You're doing no good service to that bike. That's true. Yeah, just buy a budget e-bike, because if you're just going to ride it when it's nice outside and you're never going to ride it to replace the car, get a budget e-bike. But I would watch which ones. But I would also go to the bike store and ride some bikes to get an idea what they're like. So on that, I'm glad you left a comment. But there's so many things good about a Stromer. If you're just looking at the battery and you're looking at the torque and you're looking at the controller, oh, it doesn't have 40 amps. Oh, it doesn't have this. It don't have that. It's like, you know what it has? It has reliability. That's what it has. That bike I got can do 28 to 30 miles. Matter of fact, I was riding home the other day on the ST3. I was riding home at 29.2 miles an hour constantly. I thought that's awesome. Yeah, some people be like, dude, you can go 35 miles an hour. Well, like I could care. What I want is a bike that's going to last. And 29.2 miles an hour, fast enough for me. Got me home in, I think, 5 minutes. 2.5 miles, I got home in 5 minutes. I don't think that's bad. I don't know if maybe you do, but I don't. And, yeah, if you're not going to ride a bike that much, then I would just get a budget e-bike. But I would suggest go to a bike store. It's a good idea to go to a bike store and talk to the mechanics, because if you show that to some mechanics that are working in the back, they'll probably say the same thing I'm saying. Yeah, who cares that it's $2,000 or it's cheaper than this bike? They're going to look at it like, that's great that they put a Pinium on it, but that's not a commuter. I don't know what they're trying to sell you, but that's not a commuter. Maybe if you're getting on buses or subways, maybe, but it weighs 55 pounds. I got a Gazelle over there. It's a T9 Medeo, and that weighs only 45 to 50 pounds, and that's a full-size frame. You decide what you want. You know what I mean? They'll tell you. And they're not trying to sell you a bike. They want you to be happy. I mean, you got to remember, Electric One, what are they? They're a direct consumer bike. So once you get it, you're kind of stuck with it. And if you don't like it, then you're at the mercy of, you really are in the mercy of a bike shop you're going to have to trade it in. And you might spend the low cost of $2,000, and they're going to look at it as like, we don't carry them bikes. It's going to be hard for us to sell this bike. I'll tell you what, we'll give you $1,000 for it. And if you don't have that many miles on it, we maybe give you 15. Maybe. I bet if you ride it for a year and you bring it in, you might get $1,000. You might go, wow, I got $1,000 worth out of it. Depends on how much you ride it. But if you do get one, good luck. But please, if you got a Stromer dealership, go to the bike shop. Try some bikes out. This weekend, my son, he's into recumbent bikes. And they're expensive. They're not cheap. They're not. But a lot of them are made in America. Now, should I look at them and go, well, I can get one from China. It's so much cheaper. Why wouldn't I? Well, why would I get something that's made with quality? I'll just get something cheap. It depends on how much the person's going to ride. And if you're going to ride every day, I would try to get something different. I know that I just think it's weird that they called out Stromer. And I would ask you this. If you're an American, have you ever heard of Stromer before? And if the answer is no, I never did hear Stromer before. I never heard that name. That was the first time I ever heard of them. And that makes me wonder, why did they call him out? Because a lot of us that ride Stromers are kind of like, well, that's weird. Why are you calling out Stromer? That's just weird. It's like, you're calling out Stromer? Who knows Stromer in America? So, hey, thanks for leaving the comment. I hope it makes some sense. And I implore you, man, go ride them all. Don't be stuck up. Don't think that because the bike is this much money that it's too expensive for you. You'd be surprised that a lot of these people that ride Stromers end up training them in, and they keep them well kept, and you could get a used Stromer just like I did. Yeah, I spent $500 more for my ST3 Stromer, but that Stromer, it's going to go for probably 5 to 10 years, maybe even as longer than I'm alive. And I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome that I got an ST3 that, yeah, you look at it, it's like a $7,000 or $9,000 bike, and about $8,600 for the Pentium now. But I got it for $2,500. Is it a Pentium? No, it's a chain drive, but I like it. It's awesome. So maybe you can do that. Maybe you can go to your local bike shop. Maybe it won't be a Stromer. Maybe it'll be a Gazelle. Maybe it'll be a Russell Mueller. I don't know. There's so many bikes out there. Maybe it'll be a Magnum. Maybe you get yourself a used Magnum, and it's in perfect shape, and the bike was $2,500, but the guy hardly ever rode it, so they're going to sell it to you for $1,500. And guess what? You're looking at a budget of $2,000, $2,500. Now you can get an extra battery. That's pretty cool. And now you can get bags and different stuff. And then maybe you go, you know what? I don't like them tires. Can you put some Swabby Big Bends on there? I like them tires. And they're actually good tires. All right. Have a good one, guys. Be safe out there. And I'm riding the ST3 White Lightning tomorrow. The bike that's way too expensive to ride. But yet I'm doing it. All right. Bye.